Bouchercon 2020 proudly presents streaming live from Sacramento, California. It's the 51st Annual Anthony Awards, celebrating the very best in mystery writing from around the globe. And now, here's your host, Claire Booth.
Hello, and welcome to Sacramento. I'm Claire Booth. We really appreciate you joining us tonight for this special edition of the annual Anthony Awards ceremony. We're not celebrating in person like we all want to be, of course, but I hope you all are still wearing your award show best, even in this age of COVID. I know I am. And I'm counting on all of our wonderful nominees to be just as fancy tonight. We're going to be showing you all of them live, zooming in from all over the world. It'll be part of a full night from here at Access Sacramento Television, which has graciously opened up its studio for us to do this socially distanced, everybody else is wearing masks broadcast of the 2020 Anthony Awards. Now, I say Anthony, and that, of course, refers to Anthony Boucher, the man for whom both the award and the convention are named. In putting together the wonderful videos that are part of the special features we're bringing you this evening, our fantastic producer, Donna Wilberg, came across a man named Cedric Clute, who was a close friend of Boucher's and a fellow Sherlock Holmes enthusiast. Now, Mr. Clute had in his possession a document never before published, a compilation of remembrances shared at Boucher's memorial service in 1968. Upon hearing what we were up to with turning Sacramento Bouchercon virtual, Mr. Clute pulled out this treasure trove and generously donated it to Bouchercon for the convention's archives. Thank you, sir. We will take very good care of it. And we're delighted tonight to share some of these memorial tributes that illustrate the depth and the breadth of Anthony Boucher's commitment to crime fiction. Here's Sacramento Local Organizing Committee member Holly West to start us off.
William Anthony Parker White, more widely known as Anthony Boucher, died much mourned at the end of April 1968. Among the obituaries and written tributes, which expressed the general grief, several accurately characterized him as a modern version of the Renaissance man, one who was proficient in at least a dozen different fields and knowledgeable about many more. Writers on those original Renaissance men do not often stress the qualities of their private lives, but no one who knew Boucher, whether as AP, Tony, or Bill, could fail to realize what a devoted family man he was to his wife, his two sons, and his mother. No more could one forget the fidelity and imaginative kindness that marked his friendships. It is true that at times his imagination as to his friends' needs outran his ability to fulfill them, though no one could hold that against him. This might be said also about his professional life, when through illness or simply having taken on too much, he would be unable to finish, perhaps even to start, commissioned work. Agents and publishers could be sent halfway up the wall by this trait, but on most occasions he came through and was something magnificent. Quite possibly, Boucher in his 57 years never enjoyed a day of really robust health. His great friend, Frederick Dene, who of course is half of Ellery Queen, has written, "Tony and I often commiserated with each other and expressed the opinion that if both of us had been blessed with good health, how much more we could have accomplished. We said this to each other ruefully, jokingly, seriously, and at the times we consoled each other, we undoubtedly meant it. But it was often crossed my mind that perhaps Tony and I have benefited from chronic troubles. Somehow it forced us to accomplish things despite illness." Whichever of these points of view may be correct, the list of Boucher's attainments is staggering enough, and every one of them he approached not only with his formidable intelligence and thoroughness, but with gusto. also obviously with courage. He kept on working until his terminal illness forced him into hospital, where he died only 10 days later. There must have been many times when his visible joy in living was a gallant front for physical discouragement. He thought early in life, while still in college, that he might become a teacher. German and Spanish were second languages to him. He was highly proficient in French, some fine translations bear witness to this, and in Latin with some Greek. He had studied and let lapse in later years Sanskrit, Russian, Portuguese, and Italian, in any of which he could have regained fluency in short time. It must also be noted that Anthony Boucher was a grammarian, semanticist, and champion of the English language. This was visible in everything he uttered or wrote.
And now the nominees for Best Young Adult Novel. 7 Ways to Get Rid of Harry, Jen Conley. Catfishing on Catnet, Naomi Kritzer. Killing November, Adriana Mather. Patron Saints of Nothing, Randy Rebai. The Deceivers, Kristen Simmons. Wild and Crooked, Leah Thomas. And the winner is Jen Conley, 7 Ways to Get Rid of Harry. Jen?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I wanted to just real quickly thank my publisher, Eric Campbell and Lance Wright of Down and Out Books, and Chris Radigan, my great editor, and Thomas Pluck, writer Thomas Pluck, for being a fantastic champion of the book, and my lovely, wonderful fiance, Jay Costa, and his tremendous help and support on the book, and his patience with me, with my writing, and my family, my dad, my sister Kathy and her family, and my son Jack for all their support. And most of all, I'd like to thank my students and the faculty of my middle school, McAuliffe Middle School in Jackson Township, New Jersey, where I teach, and they're super supportive. The kids are excited about this, and I'll go in Monday and say, I won't. And thank you so much to the staff of Sacramento, Bouchercon. I know it's a tough year, but you guys did a great job, so thank you very much.
Congratulations from all of us here in Sacramento, Jen, and also on a personal note, also I guess from all of us, thank you for the work you do as a teacher, especially this year more than ever before. So congratulations. Now we're going to take a look at how Anthony Boucher touched pretty much every side of crime fiction. Here's LOC member Penny Manson to tell us about his work as a novelist.
The idea of teaching soon gave way to creative writing, the field in which he first made his name. Novels by Boucher and later by H.H. Holmes were constructed in the classic tradition which reached its high point in England and America during the 1920s and 30s. A mind like his, fascinated with cryptography, the pure detective puzzle with a bizarre basis, as in the locked room mysteries, and the logic of mathematics, or, if you like, of W.S. Gilbert and Lewis Carroll, was especially fitted for this type of writing. Every novel, however, was colored by wit, sound characterization, and unusual background. Even with all these attributes, it was a hard job to get anything published. Short stories, plays, translations. In the years just after the worst of the Depression, no door seemed opened for his work. Plain jobs were non-existent. He tried ghostwriting on spec, and there was no sale. His first mystery went the rounds of publishers in the traditional, discouraging manner until, late in 1936, he was inspired to send it to Simon and Schuster. Lee Wright, then the mystery editor at Random House, contributed this memory. It was on a day early in 1937 that I picked up a manuscript from my slush pile, a publisher's phrase for unsolicited manuscripts. It was late in the day. I took it home and began to read rather late after dinner. At 2 a.m., in a state of intense excitement, I awakened my husband with a cry of, "Eureka! I found it!" It was The Case of the Seventh of Calvary by Anthony Boucher. It was the first unsolicited manuscript I had read that I wanted to publish. In my entire span of publishing, which is now 33 years, I have found altogether 3 such manuscripts. Thus began a friendship that was to grow into a rare relationship of mutual love and esteem. Although AP and I did not meet for 4 or 5 years, our correspondence was constant and voluminous. When we finally met, we both encountered precisely what we expected in each other. During these and the following years, he married and fathered children. He wrote a number of books. He began his radio career. He became a science fiction aficionado and editor. His fame as a musicologist spread. His reputation as a critic grew until he became the foremost opinion in the United States, and I can't think of a comparable stature anywhere in the world. These were his achievements, a matter of record for all to see. I share their loss with the world. But for myself, in my own private world, I shall deeply miss his warmth, his always helping hand, his wit, his impeccable taste, and his love.
And now, the nominees for Best Anthology or Collection. The Eyes of Texas, Private Eyes from the Panhandle to the Piney Woods, edited by Michael Bracken. Paque tu lo sepas, Stories to Benefit the People of Puerto Rico, edited by Angel Luis Colon. Crime Travel, edited by Barb Goffman. Malice Domestic 14, Mystery Most Edible, edited by Verena Rose, Rita Owen, and Sean Riley Simmons. Murder a Go-Go's, crime fiction inspired by the music of the Go-Go's, edited by Holly West. And the winner is Malice Domestic 14, Mystery Most Edible, Verena Rose, Rita Owen, and Sean Riley Simmons.
Whoa.
Hi, ladies.
Unmute. Unmute. Unmute.
Oh, can you get it, Verena?
Unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Sean, you want to go first?
Verena, you go first.
Okay.
Please.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank Rita Owen, who's the third editor on the series of anthologies. She is the one who listened to me when I said, let's try to reopen these. There were 10 that were done many years ago, and we had this idea, and it has now become quite a hit, and we're just so pleased. I'd also like to thank PJ Coldren, Christine Trent, and Victoria Thompson, who were the readers for this particular anthology. John Betancourt and Carla Coop, who are our publishers at Wildside Press, and last but certainly not least, Parnell Hall, who was the sponsor of this particular anthology. And I'm shaking all over, and I'm just gobsmacked. Sean, to you.
Well, pretty speechless. This was not something that we, saw coming, and we're so excited. Thank you, everyone who voted for us. Thanks for everyone who's in the book. 35 other authors are in this book, and that's one of the best parts about it, because we get to work with all these amazing writers every single year, and it's amazing. And some people are published for the very first time, and some people are published, names that all so talented, and we love the blind judging process, because you uncover these brand new voices, and we just I really love working with all the authors every year and meeting all new people and making new friends, and for me that's the biggest joy of this project, and I'm just really honored to be a part of it and to be carrying on this tradition. And I can't think of anything else to say except I love my family, of course, and they put up with me constantly and with all my craziness, and Verena and my mom and my whole extended Shannon family, and they're going to be freaking out. So
Can't wait to tell my family.
I know.
Cats all know.
I know.
You know.
So, but thank you. Thanks to everyone. Thank you, Bouchercon. We wish we were with you so much, but we can't wait to see you again. We know we will see you again. So,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yay. I won. We won.
Well, congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
I have one question for you. Since it was Mystery Most Edible, what are you going to eat to celebrate?
I didn't quite catch
Oh,
that.
I was going to say, since it was Mystery Most Edible, what are you going to eat to celebrate?
What am I going to eat to celebrate? Well, it's...
Oh, there we go.
Tomorrow I'll get myself something really good.
Excellent.
Well, I had to have a nice banquet kind of meal because I used to be a chef. So we made steaks on the grill earlier, and we're having wine, and we have a really nice chocolate cake, and we have champagne for tonight. And that's just
All
for
right.
tonight. Then the rest of the weekend will be, food.
Well-
food.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you
Cheers.
again. Cheers.
Next up, we have the short story, which is a category that Boucher certainly mastered. Here's LOC member Wendy Hormsby with more.
The same traits that appeared in the Boucher Holmes novels served well for the short pieces of fiction in which he also excelled. In addition, he had a great talent for compression and for the single gimmick, with the quick twists that made it seem elaborate. A reader of the Boucher shorts, whether mystery or fantasy and science fiction, will recognize a great many facets of his character, each used as a plot basis. His enthusiasm for gourmet cooking, for sports, for opera and recordings, Gilbert and Sullivan, politics and the Catholic Church, linguistics, fact crimes, gambling, all appear somewhere. The short stories put together would alone give a fair picture of the author. His short story output was comparatively small, since this phase of writing more or less left behind as he progressed to editing and other specialties. Yet, each short story was so salient that one can't help thinking somehow that there were more of them. Perhaps the short mysteries best remembered by readers were those featuring Nick Noble, an armchair detective who sat over countless glasses of sherry in a Los Angeles saloon and solved some very odd problems. In the tradition of the eccentric sleuth, he had the memorable habit of swatting at an invisible fly which seemed to buzz around his nose. In the even higher tradition of the pure puzzle story, each of these, and later non-novel yarns, was a model of short story compression.
And now, the nominees for Best Short Story. Turistas, Hector Acosta. Unforgiven, Hilary Davidson. Red Zone, Alex Segura. Better Days, Art Taylor. Hard Return, Art Taylor. And And the winner is Alex Segura for Red Zone.
Thank you. Wow, this is crazy. I was not expecting this. I'm so grateful to be nominated with so many talented writers and friends. Hector, Hillary, Art, twice. It's amazing. It's just been, Bouchercon, thank you so much for putting together such a vibrant, amazing event, during these challenging times. Thank you, and thank you. Wow, this is crazy. I was not expecting this. Thank you to Eric at Down and Out and Angel for editing such a great anthology and to help the people of Puerto Rico, and which is an ongoing struggle. So please, pick up a copy of Paquetulo Sebas, which will help a place that's very much in need. I just want to thank this community, this writing community, Crime Writers of Color, Mystery Writers of America, Sisters in Crime. Thank you for supporting me from the beginning. To all my friends in this writing community, I wish I could name you all. I mean, this is it's what kind of keeps me going as a writer, just having this network of people that, help me and are just part of this family. Thanks to my agent, Josh Getzler, my agent on my earlier book, Star Hyde, and to everyone else, and to the readers for letting me write this kind of crazy football noir that I thought I would be the only person that would want to read, and just keep helping each other out. That's my big thing here as a writer and as a part of this community. Like, keep talking about the books you love, keep talking about the writers you love, and we'll get through these difficult times. And thank you to Bouchercon. Thank you to the readers, and that's most important. So thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Alex. Now back to Anthony. When Boucher began writing crime fiction, he was determined to get his facts straight. And here's LOC member Anna Dever to tell us how.
Anthony Boucher maintained high standards in every one of his fields, but in none was his judgment more rigorous than in the study of true murder cases. He demanded integrity of research and writing, with no word of invented dialogue and no conclusion which was not based on evidence. The great masters, Roguehead, Jesse, Pearson, Lustigarten, and their like, who added to these qualities insight into human nature, served as models when he wrote or edited. One of our most distinguished American essayists, Miriam Allen DeFord, says this about him, quote, "Among his multifarious interests, Anthony Boucher certainly included true or fact crime writing, but it was as a critic and commentator that he primarily expressed this interest. His own writing in this field, aside from book reviews, appears to have been limited to 3 short essays and 3 or 4 notably perceptive forewords to volumes, which he edited. However, he and J. Francis Miscomas were joint editors in the early 1950s of one of the few magazines devoted entirely to true crime articles, as differentiated from the illustrated True Detective type of periodical, and a very good magazine True Crime Detective was all through its short life. But true crime writers themselves, when they think of Anthony Boucher, remember chiefly his unfailing help, encouragement, and applause when they did well. I know that for years I depended on him for my best reviews for my books in this category, both in the New York Times and on FM radio KPFA. And it was largely thanks to Anthony Boucher's constant and urgent recommendations that I was able, in 1965, to have my True Crime magazine articles collected and published as Murders, Sane, and Mad. I know also that I am only one of many who had reason to be grateful to him in the past and to miss him sorely now. End quote.
And now, the nominees for Best Critical Nonfiction Work. Hitchcock and the Censors, John Bilheimer. The Hooded Gunman, An Illustrated History of the Collins Crime Club, John Curran. The Mutual Admiration Society, How Dorothy L. Sayers and Her Oxford Circle Remade the World for Women, Mo Moulton. The Trial of Lizzie Borden, A True Story, Cara Robertson. The Five, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper, Hallie Rubenhold. And the Anthony goes to Mo Moulton for the Mutual Admiration Society, How Dorothy L. Sayers and Her Oxford Circle Remade the World for Women.
Hi, thank you so much. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, this is completely unexpected and really wonderful. This is a book that is about how we can't really understand Dorothy L. Sayers, however well we think we know her, without understanding her community. And so it's also a book that was written in community and is a book that I couldn't have written without many, many people who believed in me and who believed in the book from the start. And so I want to just quickly thank, well, I couldn't possibly thank that whole community, but I'll briefly mention my agent, Amanda Annis, the folks who worked with me at Basic Books, Leah Stetcher and Claire Potter, all of my colleagues and students and friends, and then especially family members, my dad and my spouse, Theodora Fisher. So thank you very, very much.
Congratulations, Mo. And an extra special thank you to you for staying up so late over there in the UK.
Greetings from tomorrow from the UK.
Excellent, thank you. Our next category, Best Paperback Original, includes many feats of deduction, an aspect of the genre exemplified by one of Boucher's favorite mystery series. Take a big guess what that was. Here's LOC member Karen Phillips to tell us more about Anthony's involvement with the Sherlockian Society.
He was a member in excellent standing of the Baker Street Irregulars. With the titular investiture, the Valley of Fear, he helped to found its San Francisco Science Society. He shared that veneration for the master and the sacred writings about him, which is the mark of all true devotees. In addition, his aforementioned traits of logic and accuracy of research appeared in his contributions to the writings about the writings, those solemnly presented and sublimely preposterous studies which flow from the typewriters of Holmesians. None of us can forget, for example, the brilliant way in which Boucher brought evidence to prove that Sherlock Holmes really died at the Reichenbach Falls and that the man who was apparently resurrected was an imposter. Robert Fryer, a charter member of the Scourers and Molly Maguires, tells us, Anthony Boucher, the Sherlockian authority of the West Coast, and the beloved brother Scanlon of the Scourers of San Francisco, at the time of his death, was one of the kindest, most considerate, and knowledgeable men in the Holmesian arena that it has been my privilege to know. Any question, any reference, any occasion, and Tony was right there with the right answer. In his own books, in the anthologies he edited, and in the introductions he wrote for other works in the Sherlockian field, and in his reviews of current literature in the detective fiction field. He was a true craftsman in his profession, his contributions scholarly, yet always entertaining. It was my pleasure to have known Tony since March 1944, when the wheels were set in motion for the formation of the Scourers by Tony and Joseph Henry Jackson. Mr. Jackson was book editor of the San Francisco Chronicle at that time, and Tony reviewed the current mystery novels each Sunday, among his other proclivities. One Sunday, in the magazine section of the Chronicle, Tony and Joe extended an invitation to interested Sherlockians in the Bay Area to join in the formation of a San Francisco branch of the Baker Street Irregulars. I answered that invitation, and on the evening of March 31st, 1944, at Fred's Solari's restaurant on Maiden Lane, I first met Tony. On that occasion, there were 4 present: Tony, Joe, myself, and a young chap by the name of Clint Smith. From this original group, the Scourers of San Francisco, and later its ladies affiliate, the Molly Maguires, has grown to its present size and stature. Tony served as president, bodymaster of course, for some 11 to 12 years. Throughout, his was the guiding hand, and in spite of heavy demands upon his time and the fact that he was not always in the best of health, he served faithfully and well. The value of his contributions to the meetings can never be properly evaluated or fully appreciated. He could always be counted on to clear up a Sherlockian question, to comment on the parade of Holmesian literature as it was published, to contribute his own offerings in this connection. Watson refers to Sherlock Holmes in The Final Problem as the best and wisest man whom I have ever known. I wish somehow that I had the ability to paraphrase that statement for Tony Boucher.
And now, the nominees for Best Paperback Original. The Unrepentant, E.A. Amar. Murder Knocks Twice, Susanna Calkins. The Pearl Dagger, L.A. Chandler. Scott and Soda, Katrina McPherson. The Alchemist's Illusion, Gigi Pondian. Drowned Under, Wendell Thomas. The Naming Game, Gabriel Valjean. And the Anthony goes to Gigi Pondian, The Alchemist's Illusion.
Just wow. I'm incredibly honored to accept this Anthony Award for The Alchemist's Illusion. These are incredibly strange times, but it also feels strangely appropriate to be recognized for one of my accidental alchemist novels while sheltering in place, because I began writing this series while I was sheltering away from the world for nearly a year while I had no immune system while going through chemotherapy. So I was writing fiction as therapy to get through that year, not as something I thought that anyone else would enjoy. So I've been incredibly happily surprised to be proven wrong. It's such an honor to be nominated among this fantastic slate of books and authors. Ed Amar, Susie Calkins, Lori Chandler, Katrina McPherson, Wendell Thomas, and Gabriel Valjean. Just truly an honor. And just really quickly, I need to thank my agent, Jill Marshall, who's believed in my work from the start, even when we had no idea where it would fit. My editors, Terry Bischoff and Amy Glazer, my amazing critique partners, my parents, my husband, the amazing independent booksellers who hand sell our mystery novels, the Bouchercon volunteers who made this wonderful weekend possible, and big thanks to all of you, this wonderful mystery community. Thank you.
Congratulations, Gigi.
Thank you.
Now we're up to Best First Novel. Now, every writer needs an editor, whether we like it or not, and Boucher was one of those, too. Here's LOC member Chris Strife to tell us more.
J. Francis McComas, one of those who knew him best and worked with him over a long period, has summed up this subject as no one else could. He said, Anthony Boucher was justly famed as a writer, a reviewer, and as a magazine editor. As one long associated with him, I feel it was as a magazine editor that he reached his highest level of performance. He combined an unerring sense of what was commercial with an excellent literary taste. Moreover, he was essentially a kind editor, one ever ready to advise and help. Countless old prose, Anderson, Bretnor, Garrett, Heinlein, DeFord, to name but a few, can show stories published by Boucher that were improved by his counsel. He was especially gentle with beginning writers. Tony hated to use the printed rejection slip. If a submission showed any merit at all, he was ready to take the time for written encouragement with detailed suggestions for plot revision, for character strengthening, or style polishing. The magazine of fantasy and science fiction received much praise for varied achievements under Boucher's aegis as editor, but his proudest boast was the number of first stories he bought. Many of these fledglings are now well-established practitioners of the writing craft. I feel strongly that it was the early help that Boucher gave them that started them on their way to fame, if not precisely fortune. Both writers and readers have lost something with his passing, something that is hard to define and harder still to replace. As an editor, he was a man who, take him all in all, we shall not see his like again.
And now, the nominees for Best First Novel. The Ninja Daughter, Tori Eldridge. Miracle Creek, Angie Kim. One Night Gone, Tara Laskowski. 3/5, John Vercher. American Spy, Lauren Wilkinson. And the winner is One Night Gone, Tara Laskowski.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I'm very stunned. I'm sorry. I'm stunned because of my fellow nominees who are freaking amazing, and I had no idea that this was going to happen. But thank you so much. You know, I've been saying that your debut year is a very surreal time. Just opening that box of books for the first time and seeing your book in print is like so crazy. And then the year 2020 came on and it said, you think that's surreal? Hold my beer. Because this year has like clearly not been the debut year that we all wanted and imagined, but yet there are magic moments like this. So thank you so much to everybody who read my book, reviewed it, you know, messaged me to tell me that they enjoyed it, because all of those moments of connection really matter, especially in this year. I want to thank my agent and my editor, Michelle Richter and Melanie Freed. You guys are the best in the business, and I don't know how I have you on my team, but I am so fortunate. Thank you so much. And I want to thank my husband and my son, Dash. Come here, because these guys have been quarantined with me for the last 6 months, and I would not want any other people in my house besides these guys. So thank you all so much, and we hope to see you next year.
Congratulations, Tara.
Thank you.
As Boucher mastered the many facets of crime fiction, he also extended his reach outward, helping other writers in the genre. LOC member Mary Ellen Shea takes a look.
There is a difference, significant but not always recognized, between reviewing and criticism. Many mystery fans could manage to write an adequate review, an indication of setting, general plot ideas without giving away the solution, name of detective if any, a word or two as to whether the book was satisfying. Anthony Boucher was a critic. He brought to his work an encyclopedic knowledge of the mystery in both long and short forms, and could relate the subject at hand to the genre as a whole. Through his own experience as a writer, he understood the difficulties of mystery technique. Also, he could be strict with those who didn't try to overcome them. He did give up sometimes. When a book came in so bad that nobody could find anything to say about it, these he lumped by title at the end of his early chronicle columns as also received. He has been known to say of a particularly hopeless item, there is an also received, if I have ever also received one. Above all, he respected the craft. Always he stoutly maintained that ephemera are as important in literary history as more seriously meant works, and he loved mysteries. Unlike the critics in some fields who seem not to like anything at all for fear they will be thought undiscriminating, Boucher was never afraid to show enthusiasm. He could be equally delighted with the latest expert deception of a Christie and the newest maiden efforts with a fresh approach. He had an unerring eye for flaws, but he could analyze them with such tact and charity that even adverse criticism from him was somehow encouraging. It showed the author how to avoid those mistakes next time. Inevitably, he could see what the author had intended and wrote his review from the standpoint of whether the intention had succeeded. Once a book was described to him as pornography. Well, he said, is it good pornography? The foremost opinion in the United States was Miss Wright's description. That phrase is accurate and as telling as those summings up of a book's value that marked the Boucher reviews, from his debut in the San Francisco Chronicle to his many years with the New York Times and Ellery Queen's Mystery Magazine. It is hard to think how anyone can ever take his place.
And now, the nominees for Best Novel. Your House Will Pay, Steph Chaw. They All Fall Down, Rachel Housel Hall. Lady in the Lake, Laura Lippman. The Murder List, Hank Philippi Ryan. Miami Midnight, Alex Segura. And for our final category of the night, the Anthony goes to Hank Philippi Ryan, The Murder List.
Really? You all are, you should have been in the breakout room with us. Laura Lippman has on pajama bottoms, and Alex is just floating and floating and floating. And Rachel, I think, has Cabernet, bourbon barreled Cabernet, and Steph has her baby. And I'm just sitting in this breakout room loving every single one of those brilliant authors and so happy for you all. And so I am babbling, I am speechless, I am over the moon, crazy, honored and thrilled and delighted. Quickly, I want to thank Forge Books. You are all such gems and glorious teammates and partners and cheerleaders, and Kristen Sevick, my brilliant, brilliant editor who has thousands of good ideas every moment of every day, and my agent Lisa Gallagher, who is just superwoman. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. I am so happy. You all, this is my birthday. And I want you to seriously today, and I want you to know that however you all managed to make this happen for me, you are the gift. You are the gift. And I can't believe what a wonderful day this is. Thank you all. I always say it's always safe inside a book, and it is always safe with you all. And I am so honored and thrilled for this. Thank you.
Congratulations, Hank, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So I want to take another chance here to send out congratulations to all of our winners and nominees tonight. Let's give them another round of applause. Don't go anywhere, though. We're not quite done yet, because now it is my very great honor, this year of all years, to introduce to you, live and in studio, the co-chairs of the 2020 Bouchercon World Mystery Convention, Sacramento's indomitable, unflappable, incomparable Michelle Dreyer and Ray James.
Thank you, Claire, for all you do and have done to bring us so grandly to this evening. Hi, everyone. It's time for Virtual Bouchercon 2020 to come to an end. We fervently hope that you had an entertaining and enjoyable experience. And thank you to the many women and men who traveled this road with Michelle and I. We would like to take this moment to introduce you to the Sacramento Local Organizing Committee. They signed on to our dream 5 years ago of a traditional Bouchercon and have ended up bringing you the awesome, groundbreaking, and historical virtual Bouchercon 2020. Take a look. 5 years ago, Michelle and I were traveling back from Bouchercon in Long Beach, and we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have Bouchercon here?
We love Sacramento. It's a great city. It's beautiful. It's a city of trees.
Sign up will be online only. It'll indicate that there's limited spaces.
Penny had talked to somebody in Dallas, a woman named Tex, and she found some sort of volunteer software.
They will be receiving everything for the conference. They will be housing it.
We had a little wrinkle, as you all know, when the pandemic hit. So we're now doing virtual Bouchercon. We're hoping that we'll set a stage where other Bouchercons and other conferences can do the same thing, some virtual programming.
Hi everybody, my name's Donna Wilberg, and I started out at the LOC as the communications chair. And after COVID hit, I had to, everybody had to regroup and figure out how we were going to salvage this conference. So we came up with a virtual version of Bouchercon 2020. And I slipped into the producer role.
Hello, I'm Virginia Kidd. I am the person who has been sending you newsletters for this time period as we've looked forward to Bouchercon 2020. I'm the one who had to send you the bad news and post it on Facebook that Bouchercon 2020 was canceled in Sacramento. And then I got to send you the good news that it was going to be virtual.
When Bouchercon 2020 planning started several years ago, I was serving as their convention services manager for Visit Sacramento. Once COVID hit and we moved to virtual, we're very sad that you cannot be here to visit our lovely city in person.
Hi, my name's Karen Phillips and I'm the graphic designer laying out the program book. Welcome to the first virtual Bouchercon, and I'm excited to tell you that the program book is a collector's edition because for the first time ever, the program book will have the Anthony winners in it.
Hi, I'm Claire Booth, and I'm in charge of the Anthony Awards for this year's Bouchercon. My job, thankfully, did not change all that much once the pandemic hit. I still was in charge of compiling the nominations, announcing our slate of wonderful nominees, and I spent the summer getting them up so people are able to get to know them and get to know their work, especially since they're not going to be able to meet them in person like they would during a normal year. But we're very excited. We were thrilled to be able to bring you tonight the virtual Anthony Awards ceremony, and we hope that everyone enjoyed being able to see the winners live. I know I did.
Hi, I'm Chris Draith. I am the one that was responsible for the communication with the guests of honor and the interviewers for Bouchercon 2020. When COVID hit, I was also the one that was responsible for having to notify everybody that we weren't going to have this fabulous conference. And I really miss the opportunity to sit in a little bar in the hotels and say thank you for everything that you've done. I think that next year in New Orleans, 2021, I will be there, and hopefully you will too, so I can say thank you again.
Hi, I'm Ray James, and I want to say I hope you had a wonderful Bouchercon. But before we leave, I want to take a virtual toast to those men and women who worked with us all these many years to bring Bouchercon to you. They believed in our dream, and they did a fantastic job. So we hope you had a wonderful time. We'll see you in New Orleans. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
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 Okay, and now we're going to get back to the real stuff, where I blew it before. We'd like to thank not only our entire LOC, but the City of Sacramento Visitor and Convention Bureau, all of our sponsors, the publishers, the booksellers, the authors. Everyone has done a marvelous job coming in at the last minute and pulling this together, and we could not have done it without their assistance and support.
A survey will be going out next week. Please complete and return it so that we can get your feedback and provide your comments to future Bouchercon conventions. And because we know that Bouchercon wouldn't be Bouchercon without the program book and tote, we will be mailing a bag and program book to everyone who registered before October the 4th deadline. Make sure we have your correct address.
And now, here's a video clip for Bouchercon 2021 in New Orleans. And now I'm going to formally pass the baton to Heather Graham. Take it away, Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Can you hear us?
Hey.
Hi.
I am not hearing very well here, and I think that I first would love to thank our incredible hosts for this year's Bouchercon, because you all, our chairs, did an extraordinary job under absolutely extraordinary circumstances, and I think it's amazing what you all did, and I thank you so much. And on that note, of course, we're certainly hoping that we're all together next year. And next year, of course, we are returning to Blood on the Bayou post-mortem. And Mike, Connie, and I have a special love for the city of New Orleans. Connie is from Lafayette, Louisiana, and I'm actually from Miami, Florida. When I was a young child, my dad brought me, and I absolutely fell in love with the city. It's one of our most unique American cities. All cities, of course, are unique, but it is one of our most unusual, historic, charming, atmospheric. Certainly has one of the, I find to be just one of the most all-around, everybody, everything in the world kind of places. It's exceptionally beautiful. It offers an incredible zoo. It has an incredible aquarium, and of course it has what really is a world-class World War II museum. And of course we all know it's known to be a party city. There's Bourbon Street, Frenchman Street, Magazine Street, all kinds of things to be doing all the time. It's also, as I said, you get the zoo, you get the aquarium, all kinds of wonderful things, family friendly for those who would like to bring their families. We had an incredible time doing Bouchercon a couple of years ago, and we are certainly hoping that we can repeat all of this again next year. We love the city and certainly want to give that love to everyone else. But while we want you to go out and have fun and enjoy the history and all that's unique and wonderful about New Orleans, we also want you to remember that Bouchercon is a wonderful place to come and stay. And you will be seeing Michael Connolly, and I think we have an amazing roster of guest speakers, our guest stars. So please remember that you are going to go and spend a lot of time listening to them because they're really wonderful. Now, for the other side of it, like I said, we are going to have, we're certainly hoping, and I don't see how we can miss with the people we have speaking, to have wonderful, wonderful workshops going on. And also we want to keep you occupied at night. We will once again be going back to the House of Blues, and we will be having a mystery dinner theater with winners accruing all kinds of Amazon gift certificates and various other things. So again, thank you to this year's group. This has been just an incredible year for them to put together the amazing program that they put together. And we are certainly hoping that we will be together in person next year. And as far as New Orleans goes, we all want you to come on down. And I can promise we will do our absolute best to make it a wonderful experience for everyone. So thank you guys so much. And I'm really, really hoping that we all get to be together next year in New Orleans.
Thank you, Heather, and we're looking forward to it. I'll see you in New Orleans next August.
All right, bye-bye. Well, that's almost a wrap. And I say almost for a reason.
There are a few of the many special people that we want to recognize tonight, and that is the incredibly creative and hardworking team for the entire virtual Bouchercon, Donna Wilberg and Tim Walton. They have just done an extraordinary job on this.
And we are eternally grateful to the team at Access Sacramento. They're the best. And now,
that's a wrap.
Thank you and good night. See you all in New Orleans.
Stay safe.
Stay safe and healthy, everybody. Good night.